you know, continually be friends with after the party, you can unfollow or whatever, that's fine. But that just makes the messaging a little bit easier. And then to message each person after the party, at the top of the page, you know, all the little circles, the little icons with their faces on it. Click that, and then it'll list all the people. Then if you click on their name, the first thing it'll say is message Susie Q, and then whatever their name is. Touch there to go straight to Messenger for that person. For some of you guys, this is like, why is she going into all this detail? I just know our group, and for some this is obvious, and for some it's not. So just ignore me if you already know how to do all this stuff. I also teach fifth graders, so I break it down pretty far sometimes. Okay, then I send first message. So Whitney's going to put these up, but message one is concerning the products, if they had a good time, and if there were any products they wanted to purchase. And then I include my website link and the deal sheet again there, because I go to some parties fairly often now to learn from other people's parties. And sometimes it's hard to figure out where that party is and how to order. And with Mary Kay, we don't necessarily have a link to that person's party with their name on it. And people will wonder about that. So you'll have to say, no, I know whose party you're with. When you make the order, I'll make sure that Holly gets all the credit for this. No worries about that. So that is something that sometimes people will ask you. Then back in that sheet, column one was sales. And so I may message them and get nothing back. Did you know on Messenger, you can see if they've seen your message? There's a little circle with a check mark, I think is in there. But if it shows like their little face in there, really tiny, so you really won't be able to see their face, but you can, it's kind of dark, then that means they've actually read the message. But sometimes they're not even seeing the messages. I will go on the party and put another product that we didn't have in the party, and also say, hey, look for a message from me or whatever. The other day I did a giveaway. I said, I'm going to do a giveaway for everybody who gives me a thumbs up in Messenger that they've seen my messages. And that way it pushed them over there a little bit to look at those, because we get busy, we forget, whatever. So that was kind of fun. I just tried that on a whim to see how it would go. And then it might take several days. I messaged people yesterday at 5 about some things, and all day today responses floated in. So I call it, it's in there cooking. I just put it in there, and then after a while, you'll start seeing results from it. So don't be like, nobody's getting back with me. You know, some people won't. Just know that up front, but other people will. Just takes them a while. They just can't get to it right away. And then once they say, yes, here's what I want, undo the sale, I mark their little box. I put a check in their box once I've asked them for the sale. I mark it pink if they do the sale, and I also put the amount of their sale, because that way I can keep up with Holly's hostess rewards, how much she's getting, so I don't have to keep looking for that everywhere. And losing my train of thought. Oh, but if they say no, then I just put it in orange. I say, no worries. Thank you for coming to the party and supporting Holly. And either way, whether they buy or they don't buy, I go to the second message, which was, hey, would you be interested in having a party so you can get some hostess rewards? And to help Holly, I give away a microdermabrasion set if 2 people book parties off of a party, because parties is the life of our business. So, you know, getting 2 parties each time, that's really what's going to keep your business going. So that's pretty important to me. So I will ask that, and some will say yes. And I don't mark it pink until we have a date in the calendar, and I don't ever give that microdermabrasion set away until after the 2 parties hold. So that's something to remember there. And then you check that box after you ask for the party. Then I mark it pink or orange, whether it's yes or no. And then no matter what they've said, then third thing I always go to after I've heard from the second one, I'd say, would you be willing to watch a quick video? And after we have a follow-up chat, I will send you a lip gloss for taking the time. And same thing, yes or no, and then pink or orange on there. And several people this week were like, no, I can't buy anything. No, I don't want to have a party. And they're like, sure, I'll watch the video. And I think at that point that I really enjoyed that, because I got to know the people a little bit too. And then the next column is one that I've added recently. Then I always finish up, no matter what the conversation was, with, hey, I'm going to send you a link to my VIP page. If you don't already have a Mary Kay consultant, I'd love for you to join my page. It has, and then I kind of give them an overview of what's on there, if it has tutorials, product information, other fun stuff or whatever. And I have had 2 or 3 people join my page this week from the parties, and I think I'll probably get a few more from there. And then also there's a last column that says SCSC. And if they didn't buy product, or maybe even if they did, I've started inviting them to the skincare self-care class. I'm asking them if they want a pampering product, a pampering packet, and just to keep that going, because you can build a customer who never bought anything at the party. It can still build into a customer client relationship. So that's it. And then also it's a great place when they win prizes. You can put it right in there. You know, if person number 2 won the lip gloss giveaway, write it right in there and the color they picked, so you don't have to like search through texts and messaging. And then you can mark it pink. Pink is my color for when things are good. So when it's done, then I highlight it in pink. Okay, I sent that off. And you guys would know this, but I wait to send their prize to see if they're going to order anything, because you can put it all in the same order together, save a little bit of shipping. And then you can figure out your hostess rewards right on that page. Then that page can be a page that you go back to later if we're having a sharing contest. There's been 2 or 3 people that said they would watch the video, and I sent them the video and it's been silent. And I've gone back to people maybe 2 months later and say, hey, I noticed we never really got back again about that video. Have you had a chance to watch that? And it's happened then, even after time. So that can be kind of a place where you can go back, or if you haven't had a party in a while, you can say, hey, I know I asked you this a couple months ago, and I know things change for people, or would you be interested in having a party now? And here's the deal that I'm offering right now for that, or whatever, like that $58, $130 worth of product that we're getting for $58 for having 6 people at a party. I mean, maybe that would really appeal to somebody. So that is pretty much what I have. These are in the files on the top of our Fearless Unit page. I don't know if you can save them from there into a PDF and print them out. If not, Whitney, I can email them to Whitney and Whitney can email them to you. I think Whitney and I are not the top of the food chain on technology, but we'll figure it out.
You can. If you go on the group and then you go to the files, it will work significantly better on a computer than a phone. So I wouldn't recommend pulling them up on your phone. But if you get on a computer, go to the Fearless Unit group to files, you can click on it. It's a PDF. You can print it off. So you don't have to you don't have to reinvent the wheel. These are there. And then I will try to later tonight or tomorrow. I don't want to promise tonight just because I know me, but I will do my very, very best to get the scripts up there as well, so you know like what to say with the follow-up. I will say already available in the self-care skincare scripts, there are some follow-ups in there. So if you're like, I need stuff right away, you can take the scripts that are in the self-care skincare file, and there's some follow-up there as well. Just tweak it a little bit if you need to. So if you're like, I need something immediately, you can look there, and then I will get these other scripts up there very soon.
Great. And I just want to encourage you ladies, don't be discouraged if you don't hear from them. And no doesn't always mean no. It might mean not now. And just be very careful to not be demanding or rude with people. I know you would never intend to, but just really think about what you're saying to somebody and how you would feel if somebody texted you. You know, I've had it recently as a hostess where it felt a little off-putting, some of the things. And so it was like, well, I need to learn from that and just be careful with that. But I think Mary Kay is so good at being careful with that already. I don't think it's really a problem, but just want to remind us, I always say, oh, no problem, you know, or no worries or whatever, and go on to the next question. And you know, you if nothing else, you can build a friendship with somebody.
That was so good. Do you mind if we stop sharing so we can make all the pictures big again? I don't know. I think I can.
Yes, that would be fine, but I can't find, oh, there it is, the top.
Okay.
Whitney and I practiced with this
We
like
did.
for a couple hours yesterday. But look, it did. It was
We
fun.
did. It took a little bit of work, but we got there. Okay, so we are doing so well on time, you guys. Does anybody have any, is it okay, Mom, if I open it up for questions? I didn't prep you for this, but does anybody have any questions about follow-up, anything like that? If you do, go ahead and unmute and just ask them here. This is a great place for that, because if you have a question, there might be more than one person that has a question. Let me keep that open for a second.
Hi, Jackie. I just saw you.
Yeah, Jackie got to hop on middle. Mindy, do I see maybe unmuted?
Yeah. I was wondering, Amy, if you could tell us when you do all this. I just made like a little list of it for right now because I'm not real techy either. But how long, how much time maybe you actually spend? Let's just say you have 5 people coming to the party. How much time do you actually spend then with a follow-up? I know it would depend on, when they get back to you and answer you and that type of thing. But I mean, if you would having a couple parties a week, I mean, you could spend some significant time doing all that. True.
Well, for the most part, I get in a groove. So if I'm on asking party, I copy paste that and I'm just boom, boom, boom into there. And you can pull up their name by just going in the search bar. But the more people you have, the more time it is, the more sales and parties and, it's like it builds. But yes, it can be a little bit of time. And I leave my parties open a week, mostly because it takes me a week to get all this done. And to have people come, get back to you depending on where it is. But as far as just time in the evening, I'll just be watching a movie with Randy and sending off a couple texts, and then they kind of come in. And like I said, all day today, I probably had 4 or 5 messages came in during the day today, and then at lunch I just answered each of those with copy paste text for the most part. I get more personal few words here or there with people too, but I wouldn't, it's so broken up, I wouldn't know the exact time it takes. It's pockets here and there. And the more activity I have, the more time it takes, but the happier I am to be doing that too. So it's more fun for me to be busy than to be like, I don't have anything going on right now in my business. I do not like when it's like that.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Anybody else have any questions about that?
And y'all, this, you may be just fine without this. If it overwhelms you, it's just my system that's helped me to keep up. So if this is like, I can't do all that stuff, or that makes me crazy, don't feel pressure. It's just what has worked for me and helped me to kind of see when I'm kind of through the process. When I have run full circle with a person, because it's not like sitting at your couch and asking all those questions all at once.
Yeah, and I just thought it was a really good system because my mom had shared, I think, with us before about her system, but I felt like it would help a lot if we had a document that we could just print off where it was right there. And I like her highlighting system because that just makes you kind of feel good. And then it also helps you know, like, because sometimes we feel like we don't have anything going on in our business. But if we revisit something like that, we'll go, oh, there's actually a whole party where I never got to question 3 with them. So it gives you something to do when you don't know what to do. There's usually something lurking in the wings, but sometimes you have to go hunt for it. So I just thought it was really practical. As a side note, I do think I have time to share this with you guys. I tried something new today, and I have like 6 new bookings on books. Wild. I don't usually get that many at once. So since we have time, thought I'd share real quick. So let me rephrase that a little. They're not brand new bookings. What I went back to all my groups, and I went back to all my hostesses. It's really simple to look it up because I could not remember who I'd had parties with in the past year. But if you go to Facebook and then you go to groups, you can see all the groups that you're in and all the groups that you manage. What I did was I went to all those groups from any party I had over the past, basically since quarantine started, because that's when we started doing parties online. And I went to my hostess and I said, hey, would you mind if I went live in your group a couple times this week, just sharing the 5 and 5 that we were trained on last week at the Spark Rally? And there's another director, it's not Elizabeth, that's who trained us on this last week. But a different director has been, instead of booking individual appointments, she's been going back to those party groups and just going live and sharing 5 favorite products in there. I have a script that I used that worked really well for me, but I'm not going to share it because over in Nancy's unit, they're having a specific training from that director that's been successful with this in their groups tonight. So Nancy's going to share the link with us. So what I'm going to recommend is, once I have that link up, if you're like, oh man, that sounds great to go back and revisit those parties with this live video, I'll share the link and you guys can watch the training from Nancy's unit tonight. and see what they're doing and get that training too. We didn't have enough time to do it like all tonight because I wanted to be able to let you guys go a little bit earlier than we have been because I've been keeping it over. So I thought we'd try to balance that. But letting you go like maybe a little bit earlier than an hour tonight. But I did want you guys to know about that because I think it's a really useful thing. And it also helps you because sometimes, I mean, if you're like me, sometimes you're going, I don't know who new I have to work with. So this helps you go
Right.
back to what you already have going on and not have to start from scratch. So hopefully that'll be a help. I wanted to tell you guys about that. So be on the lookout. Does anybody have anything else that they wanted to ask? Parties, anything like that? Do not want to cut.
And if you don't know how to have a party, Whitney and I will definitely partner with you. First few parties, even put those together for you, put them online. You know, we'll do it together because that's tricky. And I know, like, I don't know, Whitney, if we ever want to do this, bring it up right here in front of everybody, but I know like Mindy reworked a party a little bit, and sometimes I have some posts where I've reworked them a little bit. So I don't know if we want to make I don't know, somewhere where we have kind of, I guess we could put them on the Fearless unit. Hey, here's what I've been using for post 7 or my closing post or whatever lately or something like that to kind of
Yeah,
give us some
let me
options.
think on that, and maybe I could come up with a specific place where if you have something that's working well for a party, we have like either a specific like album in the group or maybe a group dedicated to that. Because I think that is smart because we all know that sometimes you have to get creative and try something new. Because sometimes if you do the same old thing, hello, Cindy. Sometimes if you do the same thing, it gets old and it gets stale and it's not working so well. So that is a good idea. So I'll think on that and see if I can come up with a good place for us to kind of like a virtual hub, if you will, where we can share the things that are working well. And it'll probably be an evolving thing where it's like, oh, that used to work 6 months ago, but it's really not so effective now. Here's something new I'm trying. So this was really good training tonight, Mom. Thank you so much for just sharing all of that and letting us kind of have a system. I'm not great at creating systems, but I'm pretty good at following them. So I was really glad that she was willing to lend her brain that created this system for us so that we have something to use. I did start recording about 5 minutes into her training, forgot to start it out there at the beginning. So the recording will be cut off at the first few minutes. So if you're sharing this with your teammates, if you have a teammate who's not on there, I would strongly encourage you to copy the link for this when I post it later and just send it to your teammates and say, hey, I know it, honestly, they might have a work conflict. They might have had a family thing. There's multiple reasons they may not have been able to be on live. So if you just share this with them, then they can watch it at their convenience and just let them know, hey, you know, the training we didn't get all of it recorded. So if they hop on and they're going, wait, this doesn't make any sense. I didn't understand about this or this. That would be why. And then you can maybe fill them in or say, let me ask Amy. So I did want to tell you guys that. So you're not sending out this link going, why is everyone saying it's weird? Oh, wait, it starts. Well, my fault. Still work in progress on that whole hit record thing. I thought I'd changed it to automatically record. Still a work in progress. So here we are. But thank you, ladies, so much for being on here tonight. If you weren't able to be on for the whole thing, I'll post the recording later so you can watch as much as was recorded tonight. So it'll be available. And if ever you're wanting to just like, you're like, man, I just need to spark some new ideas. If you go into the Fearless Unit group and you go to media, you can see all of the recordings that we have for the Fearless Unit as long as I've been recording these Zoom meetings. So if you're like, I really just want some training on how to do parties. We've done Zooms like this where it's all about parties. So you can go back and watch those. And that's a great way to kind of spark a new idea and just kind of hear what's been working. So have a great night, ladies. It was so good to see you all. I am loving this big group that we have on here tonight. You don't know what this does for my heart to see so many ladies who made time to be here. I am so, so grateful that I got to see all of you. And I will talk to you ladies later. Bye.
Hey, ladies.